uh, the sort function and the filter function. Of course, all this is on data. I mean, basically, Excel is a software that stores data that you input into it in many ways. Input through typing or copying from a source, or multiple ways of inputting data into Excel, including taking data off the web. Like, sometimes if you want exchange rates to come into your sheet, you can have it set up in a way that each day new rates will come, and you can actually pull it in through some gimmicks in the software itself. So there are many ways you can pull data into Excel, but in the end, it is a database of data. Okay, mostly because of its ability to work with numbers, it is more used for financial purposes. There is another database software in Microsoft Office called Access, which is for pure data. Okay, not so much numbers. Access has its own methodology for storing and retrieving data. And in some ways, it's simpler because it doesn't work with numbers. But Access doesn't have many formulae that you can use inside Access, or if you can use them, they're very complicated. Excel is more simple in the way you use formulae. So, but both are storage of data for retrieval in a multiplicity of ways. Okay. So today we're going to look at sort function and the filter function. Now the sort function, let me just open up a worksheet, a very simple worksheet. Now I have them, by the way. So where is it? Okay. Yeah, I think this one. Okay. So as you can see, let me just push up the. Okay, this is a simple database. Okay, and it's showing something about shirts. What do you say? Apparel, and their sales on particular date. So it's like a sales register. Okay, it is showing from where it has been sold, and we call it a panel. Okay, and what was sold, when it was sold, and what is the value. It's a very simple database. Okay, it doesn't have invoice number or anything like that. Okay, so this is a database, and as I said, basically how you put data into Excel is you have these rows and columns. These are columns A, B, C, D, E, F are columns, and there are just numerous, innumerable columns. Okay, and as there are innumerable rows, the rows are in numbers and the columns are in alphabets. Okay, so what you do is you enter. You can just start typing in any cell. So what has happened here is someone has typed the row header, as we call it, or column header, sorry, not row, column header. And on each row, we are putting one record of the information we want to store. Okay. Then after that, let me just, you can see the menu. Excel always has a, sorry, oops. Okay. Hang on. Okay, this is the menu bar on top. Okay, and it's got the main menu items, and then under each one you got the sub menu items. If you go to formula, you get another set of sub menu items. If you go to data, you get another subset. Okay, so basically normally it comes and stays on home, okay? But you take each one as you want. So this whole thing until whatever she's got data up to row 31. She is defined as a database. Okay, she's got the columns. Okay, let me hang on. Okay, so this is like if she just typed it out. Okay, she's just colored the column. Coloring is a very simple thing, by the way. If you want to know, if I want to color this column, I'm now on G5. Okay, all I have to do is right click on my computer. There's something called format cells here right at the bottom. I can go to format cell and then again multiple tabs. And there's something called fill. From the fill, I can choose any color I want. Let me choose dark. The worst color you can think of. And I say okay, and that cell fills up with that color. Okay. Same way, if I go to right click and do format, I'm just going somewhere else at the moment. Okay, I can go to font. And then for the font, I can choose a color. Okay. Because it's such a dark color, I'm going to choose white. Okay. So, and if I type anything in this cell now, it will be in white. Okay. So for each cell, you can choose the background color and the font color. Okay, that's pretty much standard in Word and the Access also, but it's more relevant in Excel because you can define it by cell. You can also define it by a range of cells. Suppose, see, now what I've done is, what I'm doing is I'm left clicking, dragging to the right, and then dragging down. Okay, that's how you can select. Okay, an area. Now this area is selected, and I can do the same thing. I can do format. Okay, a font I can do. Let me put color red. Okay, and the fill the background. I just want it as yellow. Okay, so here it's still separate cells. Okay, but I formatted the whole place to be red. Typing is red. Okay, even if it's numbers or anything, and the background is yellow. So multiple ways you can do formatting. Okay, let's just get rid of that, all of that. Okay, right. So this coloring is just something they formatted, nothing more. And also the font can be made. Oh, by the way, you can also choose the color from if you go to home. It's here. This is the background color. Can you see that on top? The background color. This is the font color. Okay. So I can do the same thing. I'll change it to blue background and font will be black. It's fine. Okay. Okay. So you can, in fact, that's the easiest way to do it rather than right clicking and all that stuff. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is this blue color here is not a big deal. Okay. They just formatted it and highlight, even the bolding is here. The B makes it bold. If I click it now, the bolding will go away. If I click it again, it comes back to bold. Okay, so basically the font selections are here. You can choose the font, type of font, the size of the font, the background color, the foreground color, and then bold or italics or underlined. Okay, and then there are more things. You can format the borders of each cell or a range of cells. Okay, but we are here to talk about sorting and filtering. So let's do that. So this is a simple database of information. Okay. So what they do is normally you select, again, you know how to select. Go to the first cell, hold down your mouse pointer, left mouse pointer, drag to the right and go all the way down. Okay. Now in this, you can go to data, which is somewhere in the middle of the options. Okay. Data, and then just click on filter. Okay. And as you will see, what's happened now is it has now put these small arrows on the top of each column. Okay. And these arrows indicate the filtering methodology. You can also now, this arrow is for undoing, the one on top. So I'm just undoing it now. You can also just go anywhere inside the table and click filter. Okay. No, not that. Sorry, that's a different one. That we'll teach later. Okay, now let's just go back to having chosen the thing. Let me do that again. Select the whole thing. Okay. In fact, you don't have to select the whole thing. Excel is somewhat smart that way. You can just stay here and do filter anywhere inside the data and do filter, and it still does the same thing. But just to be sure that you've got the whole range, it's better to select the whole thing and do the filter button. Okay. So right now it's set for filtering this entire set. Now, what do these arrows mean? Basically, it means that when you click on the arrow, it will immediately show you unique values in this column. That means, as you can see, there are many affiliate stores here. Okay, but it will show you only one value for affiliate store, one value for store, one value for website. That is showing what are the unique values that are mentioned in this column. Okay. So if you look at it, you see, it's got affiliate site, store, and website. Okay. So it's all the rows have only any of these three items. Okay. It doesn't have any other value. It can either be an affiliate site or a store or a website. That's the data we gave it. Excel is picking it up and saying, what it's saying now is, okay, what do you want information on? Do you want information on all three? That means select all. Okay. Do you want information only on affiliates? In which case you untick the select all and just tick affiliate sites. Okay. And what happens is then it shows you only the records that are for the channel affiliate site. Okay. It's not deleted the others. As you can see, the row numbers have got gaps in them. So they've just hidden the values that are not affiliate site. So, and of course, the row for that affiliate site is shown. All the other rows are deleted. Okay. So this information is correct for row 8 or this information, even though we chose affiliate site. Okay. So we can go back to that and say, okay, I want affiliate site and website. So I keep affiliate site and I tick website, and then I get affiliates as well as websites. Okay. Again, the rest of the data is not gone anywhere, it's just being hidden. Okay. Then we did this. Okay, so let's just go back to select all. Now I just want to know what the total sales is. Okay, so I'm going to put a formula here. It's a very simple formula. This is the sales value, right? It's not formatted for cents or anything. So yeah, I'm going to say the formula for totaling it is sum, okay, which is a simple, simplest of formula. And then you highlight the cells you want the sum of, okay, up here, close the brackets. And so you get the sum here, okay, of all this. All right, so now what happens is if you now choose and say, I want only website, okay. Okay, what happens is, okay, I can't see my row. Wait, let me just undo it. It's supposed to show. I think it's let me just put somewhere else. Okay, so now if I go to the channel and choose only website, so what I'm doing is now filtering it for only website. Okay, you notice the sum is still 8167. Actually, the sum of these three is only what, 480, 890, right? So it's showing 8167. Especially if I had, you know, a description like total or something, it would give the wrong information. Okay. Now, what Excel does is for showing totals based on your filtering, it cannot work with the formula sum. It has to work with a formula called subtotal. And that's what this lady has done here. She's got, you notice this is the sum formula, which is exactly the same as what I have, D6 to D31. Okay. You see, I've also got D6 to D31. Okay. But then you have another one called subtotal. I'm just going to, okay. And that formula is something is worth learning, because filtering is something you would use, even Salita, you would use it for your database records. Okay. I mean, filtering is one of the keys of processing data, right? Of pulling out data. You don't use sum. If you have any number column that you need to add, you would use something called subtotal. Okay. And when you put subtotal and do the brackets, it gives you all kinds of options. Okay. So subtotal is not just the total of the value. It can give you the average or the count A, which I don't know what it is, or the maximum value in the range you have selected, or the minimum value, or the product of all the values. Okay, standard deviation, etc., etc. There is also sum, by the way. So the formula is, the way formulae are written in Excel is, when you start writing a formula, they give you the what do you call it, the format for the formula. Okay, so it says subtotal, you have to open bracket and you have to put the function number, and these are the function numbers for that particular form, for that formula, not for anything else. Okay, and then it says, okay, what is the range after that? So we need sum. Okay. And so I would put 9 there, then I put bracket. Okay. And then I go back to that same, what is that? D1 to D31, D6 to D31. Okay. Let me just, I don't know if I can get it now. Let me just undo the channel first. So select all, back again to select all. Okay, then I go back to that formula I was working in. Okay, so here what I'm going to write is equals subtotal. Okay, 9 is the count that we want for function count that we want. 9 comma, and then I highlight this range. Okay. So it is still D6 to D31. Okay, except we are using a different formula now. Instead of using sum, we are using a formula called subtotal, where you have to identify what is the mathematic function you want done on that range. And 9 is the number for, just give me a straight addition of that. Okay. Right. So here we have 8167. But now if you notice, if you go and choose website, okay, I hope I don't make a fool of myself. Okay. See here you got 890 now, and if you add these three, they are 890. So that's why you would not have a column like this, which would be wrong information. I'm just going to delete that row entirely. Okay. So now if I change anything, let me go back to website plus store. Okay. It will give me the new total, which includes all the rows for website plus store. Okay. As a check mark, this lady has put the two different things on total here. You don't have to put the total formula at the bottom of the column. You can put it anywhere. Okay. The same formula, I can put it here. Okay. Just out of the blue, I'm saying subtotal. Remember 9 comma. Of course, I have to do from 31, but I'll change that. D6 to D31. I'm just changing it manually. Okay. See that the sum will come here also. You can put this formula anywhere on this entire sheet. As long as you refer to the same cells, you will get the same answer. Okay, that's quite simple. But normally you would want it either below the set of numbers or above the set of numbers. A lot of people put it above, right above here, so that you don't have to go searching like I was. You'd always see the new value here. Like for example, if we change it to select all, okay. See, straight away you see the change. Otherwise, where I have put it, you have to go down and take a look at it. So it's just, it's not very efficient to maneuver on the sheet if you put the sum at the bottom. And this is just 20 records. What if we had 1,000 records? Every time you have to keep scrolling down to find out, okay, what's the new total? So sometimes, and most times, it's sensible to put the total on top, okay? It's just common sense, nothing more. Normally, in a handwritten thing, it will always be at the bottom. Okay, as far as I know, when I was doing my BCom. Okay, but in Excel, quite a few people put the totals on top because you can see it, irrespective of how big your records are. You can see it as soon as you make the change. Now I'm going to choose website only. Okay, I'm picking the select all, and then I'm going to website, and I'm picking website. Okay, so now we've got 3 records for the website. Okay. Now, if you notice, the others are, and this particular channel has got a filter mark, a funnel mark, which shows that now we already filtered on the column for channel. Okay. We can now, within this selection, do a filtering on any of the other columns. Okay. So, for example, if I want only shirt yellow, if I click now, it will give me only the remaining values in that row, not the entire set. Okay, there might have been pants, I don't know. Okay. So you see only these 2 values, blue and yellow. So I want only blue. Okay. So I get, and the total changes straight away. Okay. So what's happened now is I've done a filtering within a filtering. Okay. You can do this indefinitely across all your columns. Okay. That is called, so that's a functionality you might use. Okay, so I want, for example, you've got a database of addresses, which is what we started with. I want all the people from Tamil Nadu who are from the district of Coimbatore. Okay, so district would be a column, state would be another column. Okay, you would have Chengalpet and North Arcot and South Arcot and God knows what all. Okay, there if you've got enough information. but you want only to see only those from, and in fact, it's whole of India. So you first filter on state and select Tamil Nadu, yeah. And secondly, filter on district and select Coimbatore. Then you would get all the records from your database that are for the state of Tamil Nadu and for the district of Coimbatore. Now, one of the things that is critical in this is your spellings have to be accurate. And if you got shirt blue, let me just go back there, okay? We can, I don't know how I think we just, yeah, click that and it unselects the whole thing. So if you double click on that filter thing, it goes back to unselecting the whole filter, okay? Goes back to full. Suppose I had this shirt blue, I forgot to put the E, okay? It will not be picked up. In fact, it will come as another unique value. So if I go to, now again, I'm going to filter the. Now, if I go to product and see what are the values, see shirt BLU is separate from shirt BLUE. Okay? So it is important when you create your database that your spellings for those items that you would like to filter are accurate. You cannot have one with BLU and another one with BLEU and another one with the correct spelling BLUE. If you've got wrong data, you know, there's this concept in IT or computers that if you put garbage in, you'll get garbage out, right? So if you got wrong spelling for your data, you will not get correct filtered data. It's that simple. It's important to know, okay? You cannot show people, you see, this is what my report shows, that there are only two blue shirts sold in the whole of the country, when actually you got 3 or 4 which you misspelled and it's not been picked up by the filter, okay? So let me just go back and change that spelling. Okay, so that's the basic filtering. So you can do filter and then filter within filter, okay? In the same way, but without these arrows, we have this sort. Now, sorting is not reducing the records, but just sorting the information according to any criteria that you would want. You can just go anywhere inside the database, or you can select the whole thing like before. Okay? That is in the initial stages, that will be better because it definitely rules out the possibility of error. Then you go to sort, and it gives you this particular window. Okay, and it starts with a single level of sorting. It says first it asks you the data that you've selected now, does it have headers or not? Okay, and since we have selected the header also, we say yes, it has headers. Okay, when we tick this my data as headers, it automatically gives you the header names. Okay, so it's asking, okay, what do you want to sort by? Do you want to sort by channel or date or product, or let's sort by product? Okay, from A to Z. Okay, I seem to say A Z very naturally now. Maybe I'm becoming Americanized. I don't know. I don't say Z at all nowadays. Anyway. Okay, so you see what's happened now. It's sorted on the product alphabetically from A to Z. Okay, so P comes before S, right? And blue, okay, they're all blue. Right. So shirts blue comes before shirts white. W is way down in the alphabet. So it's been sorted according to this column alphabetically, product column. Again, just like the filtering, you can do sub-sort.
One question.
Yes.
One question. Can you go back to the original data from this?
The original data is still here. Like you mean the original sorting?
No, I mean, yeah, original sorting, correct.
Original sorting you may lose unless you know what the order was. If you know what the order was, if it was a random order, okay.
It was date order, I think.
Normally it would be date order. You can always go back to date order, not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just do that again. Go back to sort, and you said data as header. So instead of product, you go to date, and you can choose oldest to newest, which is the normal way, right? I mean, the oldest record is the first record, and the newest record will be the last record, right? So oldest to newest is the normal sorting order, but you can sort it in many ways. You can even do custom ordering. Okay? But normal is oldest to newest, or newest to oldest, or A to Z, or Z to A, or in case of numbers, negative numbers first to small numbers to large numbers or large numbers to small numbers. These are the normal sorting orders. So we are going to the date order. Okay. So you notice 1st of November is the first record. Okay. And it goes to 10th of February 2018. So it now has been sorted according to date. So if your original data was sorted according to a particular column, then you can go back to it, not a problem at all. But if it was just a random input, okay, or it is based on something that is not represented in any of these columns, then to go back to it would be difficult. You would have to actually save this sheet as another sheet, which is very simple, by the way. Suppose you wanted to work on this sheet, but you wanted to keep the old data. The tabs are here for the different sheets inside the file. Okay, you can have 30, 40 sheets in the same file, by the way. Okay, now we've been working with this first sheet, which is called basics. Suppose I wanted to keep the original data. Okay, what you do is go to the tab name, right click, and then you can say move or copy, and gives you a window. Okay, and I say I want to create a copy, I want to keep it at the end. Okay, and it gives me a new one called basics 2. Now I want to rename this. I can again go there, right click, and then say rename, and then instead of 2 I say basics original. Okay, right, so that's there. Then I don't work on it. I mean, the thing is, you have to make sure you don't mess up this one afterwards by mistake. Okay, so you can go back to this and work on the sheet. Okay, now you're working on the sheet. So then you will have your original data here with you always, whatever you do with this. Okay, this will not change because this is another sheet and there are no formula applied here at all. Okay, right, so that is okay, one sorting we looked at. Again, we can look at sorting within sorting. Let's say this, go back to sort. Yes, my data as headers. I want to sort by the channel, which is basically the store. Okay, and alphabetically. Then I want to add one more level of sorting. So inside each store, I want to sort by the product alphabetically. Okay, so add another level, and then it will give you the same values again. And then I want product. Okay, A to Z is fine for me. I can add one more level. Okay, which is the date of sale. Okay, oldest to newest. Okay, of course within this the oldest to newest may not have much meaning, but now I've got 3 sorting levels. Okay, so what I have now is because we sorted the channels according to the alphabetical. Affiliate site comes first, of course, and website comes last. So under affiliates we do the pants because P comes before S, and shirts white come before shirts yellow. So they've been sorted like that. And let's see, we've got 2 shirts yellow. And if you notice, January has come before February. Okay? And we've got 3 shirts white. So you've got December 2017, January 8th, and 11th of 2018. So the sorting has worked. Okay, we've got date within product within channel. That's the sorting that has happened. Okay, so to go back to your old sorting, all you have to do is select the whole thing again. Okay, go to sort, and then say you can go to date, this one, and say delete the level. Okay, and you can go to this and say delete the level, and then you can go here and go back and say date. Remember, that was the original thing. Okay, oldest to newest. So we go back to what we had, and this should be basically the same as this one. So how you delete levels is just selecting that row inside that small window and clicking the delete button. So that's sorting. That's about as much as I know. But about filtering, I do know something more. So we'll look into that. But let's take questions now. What is the time anyway? I've got a prayer meeting after. Let me just. But no hurry. I'm not rushing anyhow. Don't worry.
Subtotal. When you say equal to subtotal.
Yeah. Why can't I get this? I always get this.
Can you do that part again? When just putting that number 9, how did you get
Yeah,
that?
yeah. All right. I have to go back to share. How did I get? Okay. Right. Let me go back to that sheet now, which was, yeah, this one. All right. I'm just trying to sort here. Okay. Okay, we have the subtotal column, right? Let's just do another subtotal column here. She's already got that, but let's do another one. Yeah, okay. So what was your question, Salita?
You said equal to subtotal.
Yeah, equal to subtotal. Now this is a defined formula in Excel. It has hundreds and hundreds of defined formulae. Again, you have to put the exact spelling. It will help you by giving a prompt. As you can see here, it's already given me a prompt. Okay, you can just click on it. Okay, but of course that's not the whole thing. If you click on, okay, giving me help also. If you double click, it goes to a help. Yeah, I didn't know that. Right, where are we? Yeah. We close that. Okay. Subtotal, you remember we have to put one of these numbers for the function.
Number
the
9.
arithmetical function that we want. And to be honest, I know only 9 and I know 2. Okay. I hardly use average for anything. Okay. But let's use average also and we'll see. Right now we want sum. So I put 9. Okay. So 9 is the arithmetic function that you need Excel to apply on the selected range which is coming. Okay.
Yeah.
So the one way to do the range is if your data is now without any filtering or sorting. Sorting is fine. You can go and select the whole area. Okay. And close the bracket and press enter. Yeah, I know the screen is still showing this, but as soon as you press enter, it goes back to the field that you chose. Okay. Now this is with subtotal. Suppose I just wanted, for example, okay, what is the total count? Okay, but I want the count to be changing each time I do a filtering. You understand? Yeah. So I do, I say count here, and then I do subtotal, open bracket, and count is 2. So I put 2. Then I take the same range, okay, from 6 to 31. Close the bracket, and it will give me a count of 26. Okay, now if I do a filtering, and I say I want only pants blue, okay, I unpick the select all, and I want pants blue. See, it changes the value to 1921, and the total count is 6. Okay. So we can even do average. Okay. Average sale, okay, not average count. Yes. If you want to expand a column, I told you all, you can go just simply and drag it, or you can left click on the column and then right click, and then it'll ask you for column width. You can give a number. Okay. So maybe 17.5 is better. Okay. Either way, you can expand it or reduce the width of the column. You can just go to the line between the two columns and drag left or right to increase or decrease the column. You know, it says average sale, and I'm going to do the equal subtotal. Okay, let me just, okay, we know the thing. Average is 1, right? 1. And it's, if you remember, it's D6 to D1. Okay. And by the way, the range is always defined with a full colon between the two, that extreme left or extreme top cell and extreme right or extreme bottom cell, but joined together with a colon, not comma. Okay. In some cases, it is comma. So some other cases. So you get an average sale of 320. Okay. So let me just, without explaining how, let me just move that here. Okay. Oh, I can't move it. All right, we say total sale, total count, and average sale. Okay, so I want to select all of them, but I want to know how much website. Okay, so I go to channel and I choose, I unselect all, and then I go to site. Okay, so I get okay. Now, it hit the row. My total sale 890, total count 3. The average got hidden because it happened to be a row which got hidden. So that's one of the things you'll have to make sure when you start giving your summary data, don't put it on the rows that are having the data itself. See, that's why she's put it on top. She was clever. She meaning the one whose data is stored. Okay, so let me go back there. And that's just good formatting sense. This was not a good. I'm going to just take these out. Okay, there are ways to do that. We can look at it later. Okay, now that problem won't happen. So I go to website. Okay. So now you see, I get my information and keeps changing. Okay, or if I want select everything, but I want only white shirts. Okay, I go to product and I say shirt white. Okay. Okay, we've got total sale of 1,842, 6 different sales, and the average value of each sale is 307. Okay, so that's the filtering in an elementary way. Okay, now there is another advanced filtering, but before we go there, we still have another 15 minutes. Before we go there, any questions? Sanjana, I'm sure Sanjay will remain quiet if he's still there. I don't know. But he can
No,
answer.
it's okay.
You okay?
No question. Yeah, I'm
All
okay.
right. Okay, now there's something called advanced filtering. And that's the basic thing about advanced filtering. How can there be anything basic about advanced, right? Is you can do, see, this is filtering within the table itself. It's hiding the rows that are not required according to the filter, right? Now, advanced filtering is where you specify the same criteria. I want only website channel and I want only shirts white. But you know what? I want you to give me that information somewhere else, not here. Okay. So let's just go back and select everything. Okay. She's got another sheet for that, but we won't use that. Okay. I'm going to use the same sheet. And we're going to, if you notice here, there's something called advanced. Okay. And that's where we're going to go. Let's just go to advanced. Okay. It says advanced filter. It gives you 2 options for straight away to filter the list in place, which is what we already did. We don't need the advanced filter option to go do that. Okay. What we want is copy the filtered result to another location. Okay. So you select that and then it asks you what is the range. Okay. So you can actually now go there. I mean, you click here and then you can go and select the range that you want. Okay. Hang on, let me just answer this. When you click enter and it'll, hang on, let me just get this form. Hi, Babu, I'm in the middle of a Zoom Excel class. Okay, so can I talk? All right, okay, thanks. This is the bird that's decided to nest on my balcony. Bulbul. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I didn't delete the other one. That's why. Okay, so just delete the whole thing, and you can select the list. Okay, by we just go to the top. Okay, and select that. What I'm doing now is selecting the range from which I want to do the filtering. Okay. Yeah, press enter. Oh, it still says not valid. I think maybe interesting. I should be able to get it. Maybe without the. Okay. Apparently it didn't need the title. Okay. Then it's asked for the criteria range and where to copy to. Okay. Now let's go back and do that. What does it mean, criteria? Okay. You remember we looked at when we are using these arrows, when we say when we use this arrow and say only website, okay, we are actually giving a criteria. I want you to pick the column channel and give me only website. That's a criteria. Okay. So when you go to the advanced thing, it asks you for criteria. And for that, what you have to do is in a separate place, you need to copy the headers. Okay. And I'm going to copy the headers here. Right now, we got those same 4 headers here, and it should be the same spelling. Okay. Now, here I can say, for example, store. Okay. And I leave it like that for the time being. Okay. Now, if I go to advanced, the range is already there, and criteria range, I go now to that place where I wrote that. Okay. Let's say I don't know what's going to happen with the bank ones, and I say okay. Okay. And where do I want to copy to? Sorry, I have to go back and say copy to another location. And I want to say copy to, let's say here. Okay. Right. And I say, okay. And see what happens. It has copied only store. Now the columns are not wide enough, but let me just make them wide. You remember how we do that? Okay. The easy way is to just drag the column. Okay. Okay. So now if you notice, see, I have got in a new place, forget that 816, that's from the previous, I showed you, you could do it, put it anywhere you wanted. So you have actually now put the filter in a second place. Okay. The old one is still there. The full all of them are still showing. Okay. From row 6 to row 31 is showing here. But here it is showing only what I filtered. Okay. Now that's in a very brief way, that is the advanced filtering. Let me show you what I've done with advanced filtering. Then we will stop for today. I mean, I can field questions. This is something I did for my nephew Rohan. You guys know Rohan, right? Okay. So this was the database. Okay. This was for a company that he worked with. He needed to keep track of the employees and what all types of courses they had taken. Okay. That their company was giving them a lot of courses, by the way. So we got the, I don't know, user logon ID. I think it was an online training course. So that was what the ID is for. First name, last name, the course number, the course name, curriculum level. Okay. Then course access status. Has he accessed it, or whatever? I think it should be completed, not started, and started. Yeah, these are the 3 options, right? When was the course assigned to them? When did they start? When did they finish? When was the last date they accessed? Okay. How many times did they try it? And what's the total duration, score, blah, 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 some more information, which I don't know what he told me, and I just put it in. Okay. So this is the data. Okay. I'm not playing with the data. Look at my report here. Okay. Now I've got some fancy work here. I've got 2 separate tables. I've got table 1, all staff course data. And I've got table 2, course data for course details for a specific employee. And I've got these sort of filtering things. These are what are called combo boxes or selection.
Are you sharing those?
Sorry?
Are you sharing it now?
This one, it's an actual company's name, so I wouldn't share
it.
this yet.
Okay.
If I change the names and put dummy data, yes, I would.
Okay.
So I just want to show you. In fact, I had one fancy one done for Ajit, a menu and costing thing for an Italian restaurant. So,
yeah.
I won't show that today. So here, we first of all got the list of all the employees alphabetically. Now I'm taking Alexander AA, okay? And then I want to say, okay, up to June 15th, by the way, this is very old data, up to June 15th, year to date, okay, this will show for all the employees, okay, sorry, for all the employees, how many courses were assigned to them and how many courses were completed. The number is here. This is just a graphic representation to compare between them without looking at the numbers. Okay, so 7 assigned, 8 finished. Okay, this is as of June 15 and for the year. If I wanted only June 2015, I will choose this and it'll say, okay, nobody did any courses in July. Okay, June, sorry. On the other hand, April, yeah, some of them have done courses. Some of them were assigned and they did not do anything. They didn't finish it. Okay, but this is all from that single table we looked at, by the way. Yeah. But because I'm doing a filtering process through this selection, the criteria, all right, this one applies to these people. This also applies to this, but you have to do some additional work. Alexander AA, I want to see what did he do in the month of April. Okay, so I refresh employee, and he's actually done 2 courses in April. Okay, let's go to Alexander. There it is, 2, right? And he's only finished 1. Let me see if that shows. Okay, yeah, see, only in fact the second one is not even started, it's just been assigned to him. Okay, so you get, Alex, suppose I want to know, okay, up to April, how many did he have? I have to just go and because of my limitation, I have to go and click refresh employee again. Okay, there are ways, as soon as you change that, this also will change. I'm not that advanced yet. Now what this is actually doing is filtering into a separate place records from that data. Okay, and I'll show you that. Okay, so now I've got from whenever till April 15th. Okay, April 2015. I mean, it's not sorted according to date for some reason. I'm not sure what the sorting thing is here. I won't sort this particular table because this is more, it's got empty columns in between and all that stuff, because I've played around with the formatting so it looks fantastic. Okay. Now let's go back to the table. And if you remember the filtering information, see, this was the table, okay? But here is my filtering information. First name, last name. I want you to pick up all the records for this one and put it in a place here, okay, here, right? And from here, actually, this is the one, not that one, this one. First name, last name, and the dates, okay? So from here, I have picked up and shown it here. Okay, you saw there was a fair amount of detail there, right? How many records are there?
We are not able to see, right?
Sorry?
We're not able to see what you're saying.
No, can't you see this?
No, we can only see the initial one, the store website and affiliate site one.
Ah, okay, maybe I didn't share this.
Yeah, that is why.
Please.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We'll appreciate if you share the data.
Okay, fine.
I thought you said it's confidential. That's why.
I want to impress you all with this. Where is the?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God, I've been explaining all this time.
Yeah, so
You
that's
have
why I
been taking
asked
it for a ride.
you.
You have been taking it for a ride, Mr. Mukherjee.
I thought you meant sending it to you. Okay.
No, no, no. Yeah.
Okay. Here you are.
And then
Right. This is the sheet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Ah. That's what
It's got 2 tables. It's table 1 is for all staff course data. This first of all, let me show you the database again. Okay, this is the database. All right.
Yeah.
And as you can see, the database is a record of the courses that the staff have done. Okay, they have a particular requirement by HR that the staff should go through a series of courses and they should pass them. Okay, so they've got the log on ID. It's apparently an online sort of thing. Okay, first name, last name, the course number, the course name, the curriculum. Okay. Are you seeing them now?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
yes.
Okay. Curriculum, the course access date, the assignment date, the start date, the completion date, the last access time, total attempts, total duration, overall score. I don't know which company that information we've not put, the registration date, etc. Okay. So this is the information. This is the database, and let's see how many records we have. Okay. This is actually live data at 2015, not anymore. It doesn't work there anymore also.
Okay.
All right, you can see that fair amount of records. Okay, okay, that's it. Okay, you got 362 different records. Okay. Going back to the dashboard. So this is showing, and he's got how many employees? I'll tell you. Okay, employees, they have actually exactly 30 employees. It seems to be alphabetically arranged. Okay. So what this column is, this particular cell is just a graphic representation of the number. It's actually a formula which we can learn later if we ever reach that stage. Okay, it's a simple graphic representation, not a graph. It's a graphic representation or mini graph, as we call it, inside the cell itself. Okay, so it's just taking this number and putting it into a value. Okay, so
But
that
that's good because you can see it at one
very
glance.
quickly you can see who's the one who's done the
Yeah.
maximum number of courses. Here he is.
Correct,
I
correct.
mean, looking at the numbers will be not.
Nurul.
But
Nurul
here
is so
you
smart
see
one.
this guy, my God, he's done 35 courses.
Yes.
He's been assigned 35 and he's finished 31. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, he's overshot the cell. He's been assigned so many. Okay.
Yeah.
And the filtering is here. Okay. As I said, April 2015, and I can either choose year to date or just the month of April. Okay.
Okay.
So, or I can do May. I think from April they had no courses, unfortunately. So if you go to December 14, yeah, there's something there. Year to date, December 14. You see, it year to date shows you a bigger number, obviously, and the month alone shows you in that month how much they have done, or how much were assigned, and how much did they start. Complete. Started is not there. We could have had a column for started also if we wanted. Okay. It just I wanted to fit it onto one screen, both of them together. So I decided not to show the started but not completed ones. Okay, it's sort of obvious, right? I mean, if he's got 5 and 3, he started. He is either not started 2 at all, or he started and he didn't finish it. So you know, if you can infer, then no need to take up space on your chart. Okay, this one is different for an individual. What are the courses they did, and when was it assigned? When was it started? When was it completed? Okay, and that is another subset here. I go to Anup Joy. And I say, I have to do this refresh employee. But as I said, there are ways that as soon as I select Anup George, this will change. Okay, I don't know that yet. And I refresh him. When I click refresh employee, what's happening is there is something called a macro that is doing the advanced filter function. Okay, it is already, as soon as I select Anup Joy, somewhere it has changed. Okay, first name is Anup, second name is Joy. Okay. And it's already got the information December 2014. Okay. And either up to December 2014 or just December 2014. So when I do refresh employee, it does the advanced filter function. See what I'm saying? Okay. When I do refresh employee, see year to date December, this guy. Now, if we go to that sheet, not the database itself, on the right hand side of the database, I just happen to use the same sheet. Okay. I could have had a third sheet to do that. Okay, not this part here. Okay, this is the advanced filter function that has worked based on my criteria selection there. Okay, so it's got Anup, Joy, and equal to or less than the last day of December 2014. Now let's say if we take only December, what happens? We'll come back to this. Okay, I want only the month of December, and I do a refresh for this guy. Okay, he's done only 2. Let's just go back there and see what it says. See that, then I've got one more column added. It should be less than December 30, 2014, and it should be greater than the earliest date, which is I don't know, I picked it up from somewhere. Okay, so then it gives me the range up to December 2014. So this is just intelligent criteria management. Okay? The function works as long as you give it good criteria. The function will work, and that's. So this is a practical example of advanced filtering. Okay, if you gave somebody a sheet like what we looked at, especially a manager, okay, would he prefer that one or would he prefer this one, or she for that matter? Okay, this one is better, I always say, because I pay a lot of attention to the font, the color, okay, and making sure that things don't bleed and stuff like that. Actually, this is below the 100%. This is 100%, so it would look like this, okay, at this size. So that's advanced filtering. So I'm going to stop the share. Okay, yeah, questions. Ajit Bhai.
I think I'll need to work this on something before I know that I've learned it.
Oh, no, I'm not laughing at you. I'm not laughing at anyone.
No, I mean
Sanjay
with advanced filter.
How do we know what's happening? I don't know what he's talking about. He wrote it some time back. Sanjay, you can talk here. Tell me what you mean.
Yeah, I meant like when you're not sharing the screen. So
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, that
We
was
were wondering
me being a
the
total dummy.
conspiracy by
Okay?
you. But in We respect your age and we are willing to forgive you.
All right, yeah. Sanjay, don't mind this fellow. Okay, he's a friend. But, Ajit, you know Sunil, right? My cousin.
Uh,
In education.
Yeah.
You don't know.
A Papa thing, right?
Papachan's friend, yeah.
Yeah,
Eugene,
yeah.
they call Eugene Uncle Papachan, by the way. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Papachan's friend is my cousin and his 2 children. Okay.
Yeah.
Sanjay is working in Kuwait now. Sanjana is getting ready to go to Pune. She's been getting ready for a year, unfortunately.
Your piano is with them, right?
Pune in which college?
Symbiosis.
Ah, okay.
Very good.
PG is it?
That's nice.
Allah, degree.
Undergraduate.
Undergrad.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry, Sanjay. Now, did you understand a little bit once I showed what's happening?
Yeah. I got it.
Okay. Now,
No problem.
as Salita said, these things only remain in the mind with practice.
Practical. Yeah, practical.
And ideally, I would like to send sheets to you all in advance of the class. I'm getting there, okay, little by little. And we
Yes.
can actually work through together
Yeah, that will help.
the things we do, okay? I'll try to get a bit more organized next week so that I send you the sheet in advance, okay?
Yeah.
And then we can go through together. But for that, you'll have to have a laptop or computer next to you, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinky, this is all cagey stuff to you, is it? Or,
No, it was good. Actually, the thing is, I know all the functions and I'm seeing how it is practically, you're using it on data.
yeah,
I
that's
just know
a
the
very
syntax and
important part.
everything.
That's a very important part. And next week, maybe I'll show what Ajit and I did together, because then you see what Excel can do really,
Yeah.
rather than
Yes.
just just cells and rows and columns and all kinds of formulae all over the place. What is all this? You might wonder, it's not for me, you'll say. But the basic things can be, think about all of Microsoft Office products, even Word or Access or Excel, okay, or even OneNote. Now I'm playing around with OneNote. Is the basics can be grasped very quickly, very quickly. I'm talking less than a week. You can get the basics and start using those applications. Okay, if you know the Microsoft Word, when I started working in Industrial Bank of Kuwait, we actually had word processing equipment, okay, big machines that did only word processing. Okay, and my secretary, it was a Philips one, I remember. This huge thing, it was a separate room with a separate AC and everything, and she would go there and start typing whatever I wrote out and gave her. But look at where it's come. But it changed very quickly. Before she left in 2 years or 3 years, we already had computers doing the same thing. So these basic stuff can be learned very easily. But Office, the suite has got tremendous possibilities, and the learning curve as you go further down is quite steep. And it will be on a need basis. As you said, unless you see the need for learning something, there's no point of learning just for the sake of learning. Okay, absolutely not. I'm one who would say enough. I've got enough information in my head. I don't read the newspapers today because I see no need to read anything about what politics is happening in Kerala. Some people don't agree with me on that, okay, but it's not going to impact me unless something really tragic happens. Okay? So I don't read it. And again, same thing with these applications. There's so much you can do, but if there is no likelihood of you doing it in the next 100 years, there's no point in you learning it. So we later on, as we move, if people are still going to stay with the class, we can look at, okay, what is a practical application for one of you? And we can work through a project, okay, for any one of you all. I think I've done enough for Ajit, so maybe we'll take something from Salita and actually finish a project using some of the things we have learned. Okay? Is that fair? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many people attend. If you've got 6 people or 7 people, I think more might come, but it's good enough. Yeah?
In this the sheet for Rohin, have you used macros in that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that the process of doing the filtering is a macro. Okay? I have to check.
Yeah. For my costing sheet, you have done macros, and it is a masterpiece
Yeah.
dashboard.
A macro is nothing but a set of instructions in a sequence, which is triggered when you click something. When you click refresh employee, you remember that button that was refresh employee? That triggers a macro, which is a set of instructions. And the set of instructions is basically, this is the criteria, this is where I want you to paste it, that thing, which we saw in the actual thing. So we can look at macros and all much later. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, and again, sorry for that gap of not showing
No,
the
no
information.
problem. So, Vanchan, can you give us data and a few questions so that we come up with the answers and you can know?
You will try by
Like
yourself before I
subtotal
teach
count.
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
sir.
what
Yeah.
you have taught us already. What
Ah,
you've
okay.
taught us.
Okay, I can
Recap
send this
of
basics
today's visit.
that we looked at. Okay. Actually, I will send you her video also because I'm, I find that if you all listen to me, you're a lot more relaxed and you're not stressed out or anything. But her video, I like this lady's videos. Her name is Laila Garani, and she's got a lot of Excel videos. Okay, from basics to really complicated stuff, and it's totally free on the web. So I can send you the ones she's done about filtering, and you can look through that. And she actually allows you to copy the Excel file that she works with. That's where I picked it up from. So yeah, I can send it to you and give you a list of questions or an assignment. No problem.
Much appreciated.
Okay. Take care. Ajay,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
You
Vanchan.
guys. Good night.
Good night.
Take care,
Right.
everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank